South African Bureau of Standards
SABS.
has lost its accreditation.
I heard. What does that mean?
It means umuntu kakhehlelesi uyasifana. Abafunanga approve Mofaya manje. Manje siyabashumela. Yes. Sometimes kuklapela ipiano, yes. Like iklapela uthi yo kunini bafethu. You know what I mean? So you need some scarcity, build up your pedigree as an artist. You know what I mean? We need to start valuing your presence. Instead of you being omnipresent, you're there. Magube njalo Monday, you're there. Piano Hub Monday, you're there. Gupi Gupi Tuesday, you're there. Le Puzi Pia. Every song is about ukdawa. Ukwesta was America.
No, you can't say that, no.
Every song is about ukdagwa.
Aid, PEPFAR, ARVs.
So I want tariffs to be charged on Mofaya in America. The DA has no economic policy. The DA is not a party that should be in government because they don't actually have any ideas on how to lead South Africa. The DA is the invigilator that comes in there, the substitute teacher. You understand? They're there to say, oh, this one was misbehaving, this one was misbehaving, this one was misbehaving. And then when Paul Kagame comes and Delela's our president, at least we'll be able to defend our president with our chest. Instead of some of us saying, yeah, Kagame, please. Yeah, mchele. Whippy, 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 whippy.
A brand new venture, brand new company, and every time when you start something new, a lot of people are going to doubt it. But I'm glad that I've built a good track record in terms of ventures that I've attempted, the failures that I've had, and the type of entrepreneur that I've built myself to become. So there's opportunities in case you'd like to invest in a brand new venture that is going to be headed by me, that's going to be marketed by myself and my team. I've put together a group of professionals, and we are launching this venture in March. So if you're interested to become a part of our shareholders, I'm sorry, unfortunately, guys, all the shares have been bought by people that we've brought on board, but there's only 12.25% shares available, and we are selling at 200,000 rands per share. So if you're interested to know what the business is about, what it is, if you want to look at the business plan, you want to meet the team, you want a full-on proper presentation, and you're interested to invest, you probably might just buy the entire 12.25% share if you've got yourself 2.4 million. Hit me up, shoot me a DM on Instagram, shoot me a DM on TikTok, or shoot me a DM on Twitter, and let's have a private conversation and put together those 2 hours where we can come and present and meet the entire team, see the vision and read the business plan and look at the numbers and see if it makes sense for you and your group of investors, or with your wife or your family, or you as a businessman who's got money to want to invest. Or maybe you just only have 200,000 rands, you just want to only own 1% of a share. With Mofaya also, one of our shareholders only owns 1.5% of Mofaya. And I don't want to tell you guys how much Mofaya is worth today, but the last people that tried to buy our company last year, is it last year or the year before? They put our evaluation healthily. So we built ourselves a very good business. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that believed in this vision, in this dream. It hasn't been easy, but it's been an incredible 11 years. I've learned a lot building this with my partners, and everything I've learned from here, I'm going to pour it all out into the brand new venture. So if you'd like to hear what that brand new venture is and you're interested to become a shareholder to invest, you're more than welcome. Do shoot me that DM. He's back. We had an episode last week, Monday. Jeez, that episode is on 100,000 views, bro.
Nicely.
It's on 100,000 views. Yeah.
Nicely.
People missed you. Can you see?
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
People missed you, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me again. Thanks for another Monday. We thank God for another opportunity to just speak, converse, share. I like that a lot of people relate with that episode. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that people have also experienced themselves, and they felt like they were listening to themselves speaking about things that they've experienced themselves while watching that episode. So I'm glad that it went well. But I've got bad news. South African Bureau of Standards
SABS.
has lost its accreditation.
I heard. What does that mean?
It means umuntu kakhehlelesi uyasifana. Abafunanga approve Mofaya manje. Manje siyabashumela. You know, if they at least, you know, did something here. Oh, at least, you know,
okay.
we'd feel for them, but nah,
You cannot celebrate because of that, but because they're
I celebrate siyabalaga, but
because
you know,
they're a regulatory body for
Yeah.
also other products and entrepreneurs, and also, you know, they are responsible for what the people consume. It's healthy to consume. You know, is it something that the public can buy and all of those things. So they're a very relevant organization in the country.
No, that's
in the
true.
bigger scheme of things, we want a working SABS.
Yeah, no, we do. Especially when we're doing our plumbing and we're buying pipes for our plumbing, we want to check that the pipes have got the SABS approved logo. At least then we know that the pipes are going to last for some time, you know. Yeah, I mean, that's just the bad news about the South African Bureau of Standards. And
because you're trying to get me to laugh at SABS because of what they put us through when we started. One of my partners gave me a call and said, we're talking about Kaizer Chiefs. And the fact that the last time they had a trophy, there was no EFF in the country.
Oh.
Which is over 10 years ago. That's
Serious?
Kaizer Chiefs, yeah. So one of my partners is like,
Damn.
Mofaya Chiefs, he said the same thing like, hey, umuthi kakhehlelezi uyasebenza winning a trophy namanje. And I'm like, no, we can't say that, man. We want a successful Kaizer Chiefs. We love it, and it's a really big team in the country. And
on the continent, in
on
the
the
world,
continent, bro.
There's
And
even a rock band that's named after the Kaizer Chiefs from Leeds in England. Angisho, the biggest football legend from Leeds United in the UK is our very own Ru.
Yeah.
Radiby.
Lucas
Radiby. Yeah. Radiby. So, Itamalaga offense.
Yeah.
Offense Baloy.
Yeah.
What is Primo?
Yeah.
Primo 19, yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, and it's so funny, you know, my mother is a Khatebe because that's her clan name.
Is your mother a Ra as in R-A or is it a R-H-A? Because there's a Xhosa Khatebe.
Ish, my mother's name is also spelled wrong. It was spelled with a P-U instead of a P-H-U.
Okay.
M-L-A. So, I mean, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean? But he's a Khatebe from his father's side and Baloy from his mother's side. I'm a Baloy from my father's side and Khatebe from my mother's side. So, you know, that's our little connection there. But speaking about, you know, the SABS and just the doubters and naysayers over time, you know, sometimes you need a baptism of fire. I actually am glad that Mofaya didn't just take off. You know, there were lots of brands that were taking off left, right, and center. My Fly by Night and everything else, and like that sweat equity that you guys have had to put in, you know, has made you guys like resilient. I was watching the Dalimpofi episode, and I just saw the different colors.
Oh, the flavors.
The different flavors, and I was like, yo, dudes are pushing, and it's
good,
inspiring.
Man.
It's inspiring.
It's been the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life, man. Building a business is nip pop and place, bro.
Yeah.
And also, you need to remember you're dealing with a couple of partners, and sometimes when you're building, I think entrepreneurs can relate out there that sometimes you want to eat now. You know, but so when you're building a business like ours, like forget about eating now. You're building a legacy business.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You're building something for your grandchildren to feed off of. You know, and that's the type of thinking that we need. We need inspiration like that, because a lot of people think about immediate success, instant gratification, and they end up lacking the motivation to continue when times are tough. You know what I mean? Like, you need to prove yourself when the chips are down. You know what I mean? You need to still have the same confidence when you got minus whatever in the bank account as you have when you've got plus however many M's in the bank account. You need to have the same Chutzpah.
Yeah, chutzpah. That's what Tebe Kalafin calls it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunger.
Yeah,
Chutzpah.
you need to have the chutzpah.
Enthusiasm.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And so I'm just glad that even though SABS might not be around, we still got a black-owned brand that is around, that is on shelves. It's on, what's this? Winnie Mandela. I keep forgetting that because when I was out of the country, it was still William Nicol.
Oh, you mean Four Ways?
Yeah. On the streets, they sell it.
Yeah, no, they sell it everywhere. Jesus, it's growing, bro.
You know, no, but I'm just saying, me now, on my street, Kaslam.
Yeah, I go there when you're a North boy.
Everyone needs to say, okay, on my street, Kaslam, Mofaya. I mean, I can say that proudly. You know what I mean? I can just, I don't know about the people that are watching, whether they've got Mofaya on your street. You know what I mean? Your street is not street enough if you don't have Mofaya. So with that sad news, at least once they get their accreditation back, whatever they need to do to fix up their rating internationally, and so that they can give us international standards, they need to do that, and Mofaya will be waiting. to get their act together. I just say, you know, the thing is that, you know, for us, you know, who've been supporting the brand and doing, I mean, like I even went on a trip when you were launching it in Swaziland. Do you remember
that?
Yeah, of course I remember.
Wow, were you there?
Of course.
Oh, I remember us at the border gate with Questa.
Yeah.
You still had dreadlocks at the time.
Yeah,
I remember
that was back in the day.
Yo, Nota, you've got a great memory, bro. That was like, what, 2014, 2015 or 2016?
Yeah. Uncles. It must have been 2014. So if you don't drink, you don't lose days. You remember everything like it was just
making us feel bad.
I just say
those of us who drink.
You know what I mean?
He says clearly we lose some days.
You lose some days.
If you accumulate all those hours of Otagi, you probably lost a year in your life.
You know what I mean? A year that you can't account for, you can't remember. Which, hey, what happened in that year that I was too tipsy? So I mean, that was a terrible night though. The day was fine, but it was so foggy at night.
I remember.
We couldn't even see the road on the way to the stadium where we were at. I was actually surprised there were people. You know what I mean? Because there was so much fog. I was like, who's going to come out at this, you know?
But Swaziland has got a tendency to do that. Sometimes as soon as you turn from Carolina, I'm going to go with the N3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that fog, yes.
But once you get into Carolina, you start turning. It starts getting foggy.
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes even Swaziland itself, especially in Babani, it does get foggy, bro.
Yeah, so we couldn't even see.
I remember that night, that event. It was really foggy.
Yeah.
And we're also panicking with what if people don't show up, people don't come, it doesn't get packed. I remember.
Exactly. So, I mean, that was the pressure. Well, I mean, I wasn't part of the event like that. I was a guest, but we were also like wanting it to be a success, you know, because that's why we came there. We came there to support a local brand. So just to see how much you guys have grown in leaps and bounds. I mean, it's like even in Paul. At the Total Garage, I remember I called you when I was in Paul. I was like, Mofaya. So at the Paul Mall, at the Total Garage by Paul Mall, those who know Paul, they know it's on the KFC side of the Paul Mall. So yeah, man, big up to you guys, and shout out for the work. That's why, you know, I'm even rocking my Mofaya. I went to SpaceX to watch the launch. I was rocking my Mofaya jumpsuit. You know what I mean?
I remember.
I went to the White House.
You were in the US.
Yeah, I went to the White House. You know, you see that picture that Pablo Escobar took with his son there in front of the White House. I also took the same picture. Mofaya. You know what I mean? So I've done my bit to support the brand. So, you know, if you see me wearing this T-shirt, don't think I got it for free. I put some sweat into it.
No, you've been, bro.
So that's it.
But don't worry, one day I'm going to thank you properly.
Yeah, no, please keep buying Mofaya.
Thank you for always having my back too. I appreciate it.
We got to. Amakrotman we need to, you know, uplift them because that's the type of treatment we want to have when we become Amakrotman. You know, last episode we were talking about Leatipka MT, and I forgot to tell you because you were too busy watching it. No, man, he was trolling because there's a live that he went and did, you know, and that really touched my heart. He was like, you know, thank you for being the guy that you are. You know, I'm just glad that he's on the mend. You know, he's got 3 beautiful kids, 3 amazing kids. His wife has been very blessed, and he's been very blessed as well to have a nice growing family. You know what I mean? He's halfway there. Maybe one day he'll have 6 kids, 7 kids. Who knows? But seeing him stepping up and taking responsibility for his own future, that's also a good sign to see. And speaking of MT, the one crew, I was bumping the new Java this morning.
Yeah. Came out today.
Yeah. So I think it's a live album. It's a live album. There's a song on there. The first song. What is it called? Guye. Yeah, Guye sounds like a song I arranged before. It sounds like Jiggy's into. I don't know. Someone needs to play a clip back to back. You know when you've been part of a song's production, when you hear another similar song, immediately your eyes just perk up like a Rottweiler's ears. Just go, hey. Yeah.
And uJava yasedlala angazi la kuma podcast isimenzeni. Kunini ngimfuna for a podcast. But at least thank you for coming to the radio show.
Java sells tickets.
Siyabonga ukuze radio.
You know what I mean? He sells tickets. So, you know, the guys that sell tickets, uzonke yena. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uyamsukela uSjava. Yeah. Ngoba uzonke naye akazanga la. So,
Kuye, that's the first track. By the way, it's Inkanyezi, it's a live album.
Yeah.
Sleepover, Madibuseng, Uyena, Indoda Enjani. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks.
But how long is the project itself? I think it's almost 50 minutes or so.
It's actually an EP. Hello, guys. Thank you very much for sitting with us and watching our episodes. I just thought, let me quickly do this ad for those that have been mad at me and saying, when you started Mofaya, some of us were looking at you. We wanted to invest in the business and become a part of the business. The business has become big now. We've corporatized the business. It just keeps on growing in leaps and bounds. We've had offers of people trying to buy our company away from us, and we still have it. And we've never closed the doors. We've always said, give us another 3-4 years. Let's keep on building this company. But it's doing really well and it's growing. But I've got an opportunity for a brand new company that we are launching in March. I'm not going to divulge much because I'm going to be doing webinars. I'm going to be explaining privately to people who are interested to become a part of it. I only have got 12% shares that are available because I'm opening it up to public investors out there at 200,000 rands per share. That is if you're interested in becoming a part of the business. I've put together a couple of professionals and I've come up with this vision, this idea. We've partnered up with a technology company. We've also partnered up with different partners throughout the different regions in the country, distribution centers of some sort. I'll explain further to those who are interested in investing. So you've got interest in investing in a business that's going to be, I'm going to make a lot of noise with this business. It's going to become one of the biggest businesses in this country over the next 5 to 10 years. But your return on investments are going to be crazy because we've all put in our risks as shareholders. All of us have put in money. All of us are going to be exercising our expertise. I'm going to be chairman of the business. We've got a CEO that's going to be CEOing the business. We've got somebody who's going to be the COO of the business. We've got somebody who's going to be handling marketing. I'm going to be handling not only a chairman, but I'll also be an ambassador. A lot of the work that you guys know that I've done over the years and the expertise that I have even in broadcasting and media, I'll be pumping everything into this brand new venture. So if you are interested to become an investor in this business, shoot me a DM on my Instagram. Or number 2, you can shoot me a DM on my Twitter. Or number 3, shoot me a DM on my TikTok. Let's get back to the episode, you guys.
Yeah.
I'll tell you it's about 40 minutes.
Yeah, so, you know, it's 5 tracks, but the tracks are long, and he was performing them live. You can also hear the audience, the interplay between him and his band as well, him talking to people inside the crowd, the call and response and all of that. And speaking of live shows, you know, there's a big show that's coming up on Valentine's Day. You know, Valentine's Day is a very big day for some of us.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've
I'm
marked it
going
on
to
the
watch
calendar.
TKZ and Soul to Soul tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
At Monte Casino. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, Soul to Soul. You know Soul to Soul?
Yes, yes.
The international band?
Yo.
Yeah, they're performing with TKZ.
Oh, damn.
And on the invite, I saw Appleseed's face, and I'm like, I don't know if Bongo Muffin will also be there, but I do know because Radio 2000 is a media sponsor.
Okay.
We've been
Nisihlanganisela
promoting it like
amakhanjani.
crazy. So.
Nisihlanganisela amakhanjani nathi sibe khona ngoba hey usisizonke her show is sold out unfortunately.
I got you, don't worry.
Valentine's Day Mosaic Theater.
Mosaic Theater, right?
Yeah, Mosaic.
She sells out any venue, bro.
Any venue. Ushanga two post. Uti I've got a show such and such a date and then at sold out.
Sold out, yeah.
Hardy. You know what I mean? So that's why angabukeki. You know what I mean? Uzonke, her price is not a price of someone who's setting a price to get bookings. When she says she wants 400K, it's because she actually doesn't want that 400K. You know what I mean? Uyakufutsekisa ngale 400K. Tumeli quote that 400K mawungifuna. And then ngeparty, sometimes someone says, "Nayi le 400 oyifuna." Damn it! Shoot meleng perform. You my goodness, I feel get you again. Yeah.
She's a real artist.
Yeah, she's the last alphabet, Bella. The last number. ZONKE. You understand? Everything.
And that's how I think that's what you were saying. Sorry, that's what you were saying about Abu Maporisa the other time. With the level at which they're at, they should be doing such shows in Uncle Waffles, like the production. Those are the type of monies they should be charging because they're international acts. Maporisa and Kabza are international acts.
Sonke maga perform a meter, 2 meter, 3 meter. Maga Shai Mosiak, it's just okay, 800,000 yana, 2,000 tickets clean. 800,000. It's just light work, you know what I mean? It's 2 gigs if she were to do 2 gigs. But when she does Grand West Arena, Boma 3.5 meter up. When she does Carnival City, 2.7 meter up. That's how much she's taking in. So it's not that she's disrespecting the promoters that want to book her. She's just preserving her brand. You know what I mean? She's not being everywhere. Because when she performs, she's making a couple M's. You know what I mean? That's the level you need to understand. Like, we're speaking about her as if, but, you know, she's got no new music out that is playing on the radio or anything. She doesn't need any of that. And she is the blueprint for what a lot of artists should be going for. I was speaking to another young artist the other day, you know, but it was a business meeting, so I won't say who. But that's what I was saying to him. I was like, bro, you need to figure out how you sell tickets. Zonke's got her way of selling tickets. She's got her fan base. When you need to build up your fan base and sell tickets to your fan base. And you don't need to sell out Carnival City like Zonke is doing. Please, she's 15 years into her career or whatever. You know what I mean? You're not at that level. Even if you're selling 20 tickets, those 20 people all came to see you. You're performing for 10,000 people at a festival. You're getting the booking fee. But out of those 10,000, how many of them came to see you and only you? You know what I mean? So you'll start with the 20 people, the 50 people, the 100 people, 200 people, 300 people. You know who does that? Elton John. Elton John does the small venues, does all those shows, right? And you know what he's doing over time? He sells 300 tickets. But he knows he's got 10,000 fans that want those tickets. So those 300 people that get those tickets, they feel very lucky. The other 9,700 people, they're like, damn it, we lost out. And then he does another show. And another 9,700 people are disappointed. Then he does 10 of those shows, right? Builds them up. Those 97,000 people now, I understand, 9,700 times 10, 97,000 people now will come to a stadium show. And then he sells out a stadium. And then he becomes the top grossing touring artist of that calendar year. And you wonder, how did he do it? He built it through the small shows where he builds up anticipation for the big show. So even if you're disappointing people who cannot get tickets and your tickets are sold out, don't worry. Those people are disappointed, but they're not dejected to the point where they're rejecting you and they're no longer coming to you. You know what I mean? For many, many years, you can Google it. Elton John has been the top grossing touring artist on Polestar. There's a Penske list that's got the top grossing touring artists. And that's how you build it up.
Let's go to 2024. The top 10 highest grossing music tours.
Yeah.
Of 2024. Number 1, Taylor Swift. The Eras
How many
tour,
billion?
1.043 billion.
Woo. Dollars,
Coldplay, dollars, mfanakithi. Coldplay, Music of the Spheres tour, $421.7 million.
Woo.
Pink. Imagine Pink. When last did she release?
She's just like a pill.
Summer Carnival tour, $367.3 million.
You hear what we're talking
Luis
about?
Miguel tour, $261 million.
Whew.
Bruce Springsteen, when last did he release, bro?
I mean, he did
Just
a
last
F&B.
year.
He did
Just
an
last
F&B
year in
show.
2024, he grossed $251 million US dollars.
And
bro.
he also sold half of his catalog for 600 million.
These guys are in their 70s, some of them almost 80. Abo Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, the Hackney Diamonds tour, $235 million just last year alone. Bad Bunny, Most Wanted
Babuni.
tour,
Babuni.
$211 million just last year alone.
Imagine, and he doesn't know English.
Zach Bryan,
Asazi isilungu, mfana. I just had to add that he doesn't know English, that guy.
Zach Bryan Quitting Time tour, $199 million US just last year alone.
T2 clip.
Number 9, Metallica, M72 tour,
Yeah.
$180 million US. And at number 10, I'm going to tell you Ngogogo. Ugogo, she's been performing even when some of you guys were not even.
Can I
born
guess?
yet. Yeah.
Barbara Streisand.
No, Madonna.
Oh, okay. You know, Marana Uko.
Imagine, 2025, Madonna is still grossing in 1 year $178 million.
That's why Lela Penten limlandela guy. Liyazi ukuthi ugogo.
So I understand when you are using that model, Yaga Sis Zonke, even Yaga Elton John.
Yeah.
For you to get to that level, you have to build it up. And also, they say familiarity breeds contempt, but also scarcity. What is that line about scarcity? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly.
So the more people feel exclusive,
Yeah.
in a small number of people to come and experience you,
Exactly.
the more the others want. Also.
You understand what
So
I'm
if
saying?
you build that up at some point, you've built a fan base. Now you can sell out stadiums.
That's it.
You can even do a tour to the whole world using technology to back it up where you've got the strongest fan base.
You can
in
see
each-
your
each
streaming numbers,
country,
guys. You guys have seen your streaming numbers. You've got your Spotify, you've got your Apple Music artists, you've got your Deezer, whatever, Connect. You've got all these platforms that are showing you where people are listening to your music. Create demand for your shows because the business is about selling tickets, Buffett. It's not about how many streams you got. You understand? We're not talking about, hey, he got this many streams, the way we were talking about Kendrick and Drake. We're talking about it, we're discussing them. Hey, this one got this many streams this week. He sold this many copies this week. Ekubeni siyazi ukuthi bathola 10% yaleyo mali. If that. Khohlwa yilogo. Those were the two most talked about artists last year. Mara, they're not even top 10 there. Bayenze clipper something in their tours. Clippanyana. We're talking about millions of dollars and we're saying clippanyana, but when you look at the list of these people from 1 point something billion to 600 million, 400 million, like those are crazy numbers. Those are crazy numbers, you know, and these people are doing it in their twilight of their careers. You know what I mean? So build that up. You know what I mean? I hope a lot of the piano artists who are hot 2019, 2020, 2021, you know, start thinking like that and stop gigging to the point of uklapelana. Yes, sometimes, you know, klapeli piano, yes, like iklapel yo unini bafethu. You know what I mean? So you need some scarcity, you know, build up your pedigree as an artist. You know what I mean? We need to start valuing your presence. Instead of you being omnipresent, you're there. Magubenjalo Monday, you're there. Piano Hub Monday, you're there. Gupi Gupi Tuesday, you're there. Something Wednesday, you are there. At an opening of an envelope, you are there. You know what I mean?
Top 10 on 2023, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
At number 10, Drake.
Yeah.
It's all about a Blur tour.
It's all a Blur, yeah.
$184 million.
Yo.
At number 9,
At least Mara Uzamil.
The
Almost
Weeknd.
two clip.
The Weeknd grossed more than Drake in 2023.
And they're both from
with
Canada.
his After Hours Till Dawn tour, yeah. $220 million US. At number 8,
I'm sure he did extra shows just so that I'm sure Drake.
Pink Summer Carnival tour, $231 million.
After.
Pink 2024, she's in the top 10.
Yeah.
She was in the top 10 also in 2023.
LA told her she'll be a
with the
pop
Summer
star.
Carnival
All she has to
tour.
change is everything she is. You know what I mean? So.
Ed Sheeran,
Yeah.
$268 million. At
Ay,
number
mara leya
7.
skapa, leya.
Jesus.
If you listen to Ed Sheeran, don't you think that his music sounds very much like African music?
He's clever, and sometimes he collaborates with some
Yeah,
of our
but also
biggest
if you listen to the
artists.
beats and the songs, it's very much like African.
I mean, come on, even not Drake, ukapama writing.
Yeah.
Ukapama genres, and sometimes he collaborates with different artists from all over the world just so he continues to have relevance in different genres. And
But can you
different-
see the value of black music, guys?
Yeah.
Which there's Yaskapa and then they tour for over 200 and something million.
Morgan Wallen, I don't know him.
I know him.
Dangerous Tour, I don't know him.
Yeah, he's that country artist, Le Puzipia. Every song is about Ukdawa. Ukwesta was a
No, you
America.
can't say that, no.
Every song is about Ukdagwa.
No.
What do you mean?
Not every Questa song is about
No, I'm saying like almost all the songs have got that element. It was a secret ingredient, which when people are ebumnandin, they must listen to a song that gets them in the mood. Not just every song is about Ukdawa, but I'm also exaggerating when it comes to Morgan Wallen. He's got a lot of country songs that are wholesome and stuff like that, but his hit songs are about getting drunk, whatever. And I mean, he sent a through pass to this other Nigerian American country star who's also spent the most weeks at number one. He broke Lil Nas X's record for most weeks at number one when he rejigged Tipsy. Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Everybody in the club. He turned it into a country song, number one, I think, for over 20 weeks in the United States. So there's a genre there. I mean, it's not like Jack Sparrow. You know Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, I know him.
Jack Sparrow,
Parrow,
dagwe
ahlala
stage,
kanjani.
mfana hlanze, phezu
Kephi
stage,
sengalo.
fan.
Une-riding plus une-riding yakhe kunotshwala bakhe.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Ifana njengabo
Yeah.
like vele uyayazi audience yakhe amabhunu la
Exactly.
utshwala strong like
Yeah.
pink
Yeah, so Morgan Wallen is like a Jack Sparrow, Questa type,
nepepepa ibonakala
but singing and rapping. He does singing.
284 million, so he sings and raps.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know. Oh,
Yeah.
he looks like a young guy.
he is.
No Harry Styles angimcavi.
Harry Styles, you don't know, from
Angimcavi.
One Direction.
Oh, Harry Styles, one of the members of the One Direction.
Oh, wow.
Bengingamcavi.
Your daughter's going to be very disappointed in this
Yo.
episode.
Love on Tour, 290 million at number 5.
Dad, you don't know Harry Styles?
No, I didn't, bro. I didn't.
Yeah, that's
Number
Harry Styles.
4, Music of the Spheres Tour. Oh, it started in 2023 because we spoke about
Yeah.
it grossing. It continued to
The
gross
same
in
tour.
2024. 325 million. He started it in 2023.
Imagine.
And then number 3, Bruce Springsteen.
Food.
This is a different tour though, because the name is different. And the
Yeah.
E Street Band,
Oh, yes, that's his
2023
original
World
band that he
Tour.
used to work with.
$379 million, bro.
Yeah. And Bruce Springsteen also does that Elton John thing. You know what I mean? He also does that Elton John of small, intimate shows. Didn't you go to the Bruce Springsteen show at FNB Stadium?
No.
When he was
not
around?
Bruce Springsteen, no.
Yo, I mean, him, Neil Diamond are like some of the biggest sellers of FNB Stadium.
Sure.
So
And even U2. Remember U2?
Yeah,
They
they
clocked 100,000 people.
they
the
brought that
FNB.
claw,
Yeah.
angisho, and then they put people on the stage.
Yeah.
And bayakhala FNB, but nina benichamela phansi, ngichitha utshwala, and now it's time for the derby. You know what I mean? And now you've messed it up for Kaizer Chiefs, unfortunately.
So I'm not going to go to number 2. I'll spare
What?
number 2. Let me start with number 1. There's a reason you'll understand just now. Number 1, with a different tour in 2023.
Yeah.
Same number 1, 2024.
Taylor Swift, yeah.
$1 billion US. She's a billionaire, bro.
Yeah,
That's out of her art.
yeah.
God-given talent.
Yo.
Number 2,
Maru Stave.
the Renaissance World Tour.
Stave Ufa.
Beyonce at number 2, $579 million. But check the gap between Beyonce at number 2 and Taylor Swift at number 1. It's almost double the amount of money Beyonce made. 579 million. Taylor Swift made 1 billion.
But if you look at the stage production of Beyonce, if you look at the
amazing.
dancing, if you look at the amount of rehearsal, and you look at all of that stuff, and then you put Taylor Swift as the number 1 pop star, you can see that us as black people, our music is used to make white people rich. White people take our music, our styles. Country music came from the blues that were sung by black artists in the South. You know what I mean? And the biggest country star is Taylor Swift right now, a lily white girl. You know, Beyonce, with all that she does, is number 2 to Taylor Swift. So we need to change that whole entire thing around. And the way we can turn it around is if we do it in Africa, on our own home continent. I don't know if you noticed that Tems, who for me has dropped the album of the decade so far in R&B. I don't think that EP, Free My Mind. No, For Broken Ears, ne? Free My Mind is the song. Google it.
But it
now.
was the EP also.
For Broken Ears. That EP for me is the best album of this decade in R&B so far. You know what I mean? The first time I heard that EP, I said, you know what, Rihanna, it's fine. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. You've given us enough hits. There's this new girl from Nigeria, and she's killing it herself. Her music, oh my goodness.
She's just cancelled her Rwanda show.
Yeah, and good. In fact, more shows in Rwanda should be cancelled. 13 of our soldiers died. And our president spoke candidly about how the Rwandan Defense Force has been involved in arming the M23. The UK government has said that they're going to stop aid to Rwanda because of them arming the M23 forces. The Russian foreign minister has also said that, if Rwanda continues to back rebels, they will then deal with them decisively. So any denials that are coming from the Kagame government, you need to understand where that government comes from. That government is a Tutsi government. The Tutsis are a minority in Rwanda. They are a minority in Rwanda, and they rule Rwanda. In the history of Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis had different cultural practices. So, what you could call Amabuto, like if we were to make it analogous to like Zulus, right, and Hlubis, Amabuto, the fighting regiments, right? They are the ones who are in political power, but they're in the minority. And then what you could call, the Church of Shembe.
It's called the Shembe Church.
Yeah, but they are the most spiritual leaders of the nation. So the Hutus were more of the spiritual leaders in the old government prior to colonialism, right? So when colonialism came, it came with a Bible and a bullet. And therefore, your cultural practices, your African spirituality, all of that got thrown out the window. And when that got thrown out the window, the importance of the Hutus within that community became diminished. And the lawyers, the doctors, the people that were trained, most of them were Tutsis. And that's why they rose to the ascendancy. And they were armed by Western forces in 1994. While the DRC was in turmoil, while South Africa was busy fixing its democratic dispensation, and while the rest of the world was looking at how Nelson Mandela's first term as president from prisoner is going to be, the genocide happened over a period of a couple of months. Many people were killed. Many people were displaced. Now, I do understand the story and the legitimate cries of the people that are in the Goma region who are Tutsis, in terms of their ethnicity, right? And before the Berlin Conference, there was no border between the DRC or Zaire at the time and Rwanda. Yeah. So when those borders came, they cut across the tribes. And I understand their legitimate cry. But those people there are a minority in the DRC themselves. The DRC is one of the most populous countries on the African continent. It's got over 100 million people in its population. Lubumbashi and Kinshasa are the two most populous cities in Africa.
And it's the wealthiest country in the continent.
Yeah. So, the wealthiest
in terms of minerals,
in terms of stored value under the ground, the wealthiest country on the continent is South Africa.
And I'm talking about under the ground,
bro.
I'm talking
because
about minerals.
The minerals that have come out of South Africa, the value has been added to them. So we are the richest in terms of extracted wealth. They are the richest in terms of potential wealth.
Remember, there's cobalt right now. As well.
Yeah. So a lot of that.
The new electric cars and the batteries. And
yes.
Cell
and just
phones
north of that, across the Ugandan border, that's where they found the big gold deposit. I think a couple $1 trillion worth of gold deposits have been found there. So that region is very rich in rare earth minerals, as well as some of the minerals that were used to, like gold, copper. The copper belt stretches down to northern Zambia as well, which is close to that border and close to Burundi as well. So for me, I've already been on a cultural boycott of Rwanda for many, many years. I don't drink Rwandan coffee. I drink coffee from Burundi. And because of the dictatorship that is in Rwanda. They had elections last year, and I think Paul Kagame won with a margin of over 90%. And to think that someone who comes from a minority ethnic group, because the Hutus are still, in terms of numbers, the majority of the country, still holding on to power all these years, 30 years later. And how did he get that power? By the power of the bullet, because they were armed by Western forces to overcome the Hutus. And I understand no one is innocent in war. You know what I mean? And they've come from a situation of war. So we cannot now say that the Tutsis are unjustified in their treatment of the Hutus. But if you look at a country like Rwanda, no one wants to talk about the politics, no one wants to talk about the history. In South Africa, we've also got a very violent history, but we talk about it candidly. You know what I mean? And our frustrations come out. You know what I mean? Sometimes and then fokane spa. Nfokane, whatever, and then next week, because you live in the same neighborhood, and then he sees that, oh damn it, you've got a flat tire, you know what I mean, and he stops over and he helps you to jack your car up. The same Bunu that you were fighting with last week and calling each other names. We let out our frustrations. We talk about our issues, and a country like Rwanda, they suppress everything. So we cannot trust anything coming from a dictatorship like that. The way in which Kagame handled the whole entire diplomatic spat with our president on the timeline, you know what I mean? Basically calling our president a liar. The week before, he was calling another East African leader a fool. You know what I mean? So that's how power has corrupted. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's gotten to the point where Kagame feels like there's no need for diplomacy. A couple years ago, people were dropping like flies in our hotels in Sandton. You know what I mean? If you go to the Michelangelo, they'll tell you stories about how, hey, this guy came from Rwanda. He said he was hiding from Paul Kagame. Next thing, yeah, Purisa, yes, yes.
South Africa something,
Hey,
live.
Iglanda live.
Baklina nawangena esiteni ehotela abantu bazoklina bakuthululenga laphana embhedeni kugcwele igazi ushawe ngegana.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like there haven't been many provocations against South Africa and against South Africans and against our laws in general, and that he's been able to get away with. So the situation that's happening right now, for me, I feel like as South Africans, we need to have a cultural boycott. Mina, I've got uncles that are in the SANDF. One of my uncles, Umalumwam Reginald, Malum Pindile. No, his name is Reginald. So you can see that he was named to be in the army. He knew where his destiny was from a very, very young age, And he spent many years in the DRC. He's retired now. He's an old man. So he's retired now and he's come back home in one piece. Now, as someone who's had family members that are in the army that are deployed, we've always had that pressure of, when you get a call from the DRC, hey, is it bad news this time? You know what I mean? We know that they're out there for peacekeeping missions, and we know that there are other interests that want to keep the peace, business interests, right, that want to keep the peace. But one must understand that that force that South Africa has sent there is not flying the South African flag. They're flying the SADC flag. Just like if you are donating some of your army to the United Nations peacekeeping forces, those United Nations blue cap wearing peacekeeping forces don't represent your flag. They represent the United Nations. You know what I mean? Which is a collective of all the nations, the League of all the nations. Sorry, it's 5 p.m., so it's time to start cooking. In case you heard my alarm ringing the last episode, it means that I'm not home. Yeah. By 5 p.m. is when I start cooking. So, when I'm supposed to start cooking, because sometimes it's hard to cook.
And you're shy pot.
Yeah, no will shy.
Blind.
Yeah, no, I'm blind. I'm a mama's boy, so I was raised to be able to cook.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I was raised to be able to look at a plate that's brought before me and think to myself, Yazin, I can do better. I don't need you in my life. You know what I mean? I won't stick around for bad food because I can't cook, So as I was saying, what's happening in that situation is something that we shouldn't be judging as South Africans getting involved in something that's got nothing to do with us. Rwanda has also got an armed force that it's sent and deployed to Mozambique in the Cabo Delgado region, where they're protecting the mining fields or the oil and gas fields that Total is exploring for France. And that's why Emmanuel Macron went to Rwanda last year, and came there with aid, came there with weapons. So now, if these weapons that are supposed to be quelling the rebels, Al-Shabaab and the terrorists that are busy bombing Total's operations in Cabo Delgado, Sasol, South African companies' operations in Cabo Delgado, when some of those weapons are filtering through to the M23, you know what I mean? Getting sophisticated weapons which they shouldn't be able to get. Pella, when they send those shells to South Africans are picking up those shells and seeing, okay, we know where these guns come from. We know who's got access to these types of weapons, And our guys died because they were brave. The guys from next door, Burundi, ran. The guys from right there, DRC, ran, leaving our South African forces by themselves because they thought to themselves, I'm sure, that we've got superior weapons. We should be able to withstand the onslaught coming from the M23 rebels. But there's lots of evidence, and there's lots of other people that are saying that Kagame is supporting those forces. The UK offers aid. The EU offers aid. The US offers aid. France offers aid to Rwanda. So they know where their money is going. And they won't send country or aid to a country. They won't send money to a country or aid to a country where they don't have operatives in there observing what's happening. Now, you also look at the accusation that Kagame made that Tshisekedi brought in some Romanian mercenaries to fight with them. Okay, it's fine. If he brought in those Romanian mercenaries, why is Kagame now taking all those Romanian mercenaries in, that he's saying the DRC brought in those Romanian mercenaries to undermine his forces? Why is he taking them in and then deporting them? Why isn't he arresting them? Why aren't they being charged? Why isn't he and why is it that if they came in via DRC, why don't they leave via DRC if that's who arranged for their safe passage? Why are they leaving via Rwanda? It just doesn't make sense. So to a dictator who's used to just telling their stories to a public that laps up everything, he can get away with those things, not with us. In South Africa, we've got freedom of speech. And you are seeing the freedom of speech online. People are saying, hey, bring back our soldiers. They're wasting time there. Hey, this one, do this, do this, do this, do this. You cannot do that in Rwanda. You'll be killed. You're not hearing any Rwandan citizens speaking about this. The ministry, the foreign minister is speaking on SABC and all these news channels, but that's the only other voice other than Kagame that you're hearing from Rwanda. That's how much repression exists in that country. That country is an apartheid state. In South Africa, we had minority rule up until 1994, and we overcame that. We've gone past that. We've got freedom of speech now. So that's why, in a country with freedom of speech, even in America, there were people sent to go invade Iraq, go invade Afghanistan. There were people protesting outside the White House. They're still protesting to this day. Bring back our soldiers, bring back our boys. You know what I mean? So when you hear people saying, bring back our boys, that's a legitimate call, but it doesn't mean that we should not feel duty bound to stick to the treaties that we've signed. We've signed a mutual defense pact with SADC. And if our forces or if any other SADC forces come under fire through rebels, then we need to defend them just in the same way we expect them to defend us when when rebel forces attack us. So what I'm seeing right now on the timeline is a lack of empathy as well. Be sensitive. Maybe your family hasn't sent soldiers into combat, but some of us have got families that have got people that are actually in active combat zones right now. And when people just say anything about our soldiers, call them whatever names because they've seen certain video clips and everything else, undermine those people. You're also hitting at people who, might grow up without fathers because their fathers are at war, might grow up without mothers because their mothers are at war currently. So let's please be sensitive about this situation, and let's also understand that we're there to foster peace. And until we've seen evidence of South Africans acting against their mandate and stoking violence in that region, then we should give them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? And we should also be aware that we talk about our dirty laundry internally all the time. Cyril Simbizu Cupcake and all that type of stuff. But when he's on national duty and he's defending our honor as a nation, we cannot now bring our dirty laundry to our enemies so that they can laugh at us, you know what I mean? And they can ridicule us and like, look at these South Africans. This is how they address their president. This is how they address their leaders. We've got differences with our leadership, but that's internal. It's a family thing. Let us not take out our dirty laundry for the rest of the public to have a spectacle to laugh at. So I'm expecting that. I know that there's Trace Awards that are coming up. You know, I wouldn't want to call for a boycott of the celebration of art, but I'm hoping that the people at Trace, it's a French company anyway, the people at Trace can reconsider hosting those awards in Rwanda. I'm hoping that Global Citizen as well, they've got a John Legend concert which is supposed to happen on the 21st of February, a week after Valentine's Day in Rwanda. I hope they can reconsider. And I'd like to congratulate Tems for reading the room and being sensitive to the genocide and the plight of the people in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Donald Trump, AGOA, spoke about tariffs a couple of weeks ago, last year, a few months ago.
Yes, we need them, please.
BRICS.
Please.
Aid, PEPFAR, ARVs.
So I want tariffs to be charged on Mofaya in America. I don't want Mofaya to be $1 and then all the other energy drinks are $3, $2. Do you know why? Because I've seen the South African wines suffering in restaurants in the United States because it's the cheapest wine and therefore people think that it's the lowest quality wine. And that's intrinsically what we're saying about our product. If we're saying, Donald Trump, please don't tariff our product. If Donald Trump adds 100 Rand tariff on this, I don't know how much it is at wholesale price. How much is it at wholesale price now?
You're buying a case, 24 of these at about 180 Rands.
Okay.
So that's around 7 Rand
But
per
let's leave it at a case.
Yeah.
Let's not put it on a, because either way you'd be sending pallets there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be sending a unit.
Yeah.
So at 180 Rand, right?
Yeah.
So that's $10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's $10, right, then what's going to happen is that if they add 100% tariff,
How crazy is this?
it becomes
$10 for 24 of these.
yeah.
Mare America, Red Bull. Now you are buying it for $5.
Yeah.
Now we buy it normally.
$5? No, Coca-Cola $5.
No, I'm telling you, bro.
No,
go to a
estates.
gig. Red Bull is $5-6, bro.
Estates,
for
yeah.
one, for one small
No,
can.
sithenga ama cold drink. Sithenga ama cold drink $6. Sithenga Diet Coke $6 kule club that rooftop club whatever Lebain.
When we went for that
Lebain.
everyday people.
Not everyday people, but when we went to Lebain, the after party at the rooftop.
after party that we went to,
Yeah. Bego is $6.
Yeah, that's around $5-6. That's what I mean.
For a
And now
Coca-Cola.
we buy Red Bull. Now we buy a normal $3-4.
You understand what I'm saying?
So
now,
how crazy is it that but in a Mofaya case of 24, it's actually $10.
that's the thing. So now you're sending this to the States. Now they're gonna charge $20, right? $10 is going to come back to Mofaya. It's gonna come back to South Africa. $10 is going to go to Donald Trump's treasury. Do you think Donald Trump is going to promote the product that is sending him $10 into his pocket, into his country's pocket, when he's trying to save money, when he's got a big deficit, when he's got big debts and he's trying to cut down costs? Or do you think he's going to promote the product that is coming in there with zero tariffs? He's going to promote the product that's making his country money. That's the product he's going to promote. And he's not going to allow you to make money with no tariffs until you build your Mofaya factory there in Pennsylvania or wherever you need to put it, in Delaware, somewhere, wherever you need to put it. You understand what I'm saying? So he's encouraging you to bring a factory there to lower your price. And also at the same time, he's promoting your product because it's making money for his government. And your product is also now at a competitive price. It's at a competitive price. It's comparable with all the other big brands. It's not looking like a discount thing. And yabaza botaki.
The cheaper it is, the more we suspect it.
Seafood.
Khona nenye lapha ene cheapest states, but still aboma $2.50. Arizona Energy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Enye ngaka.
You understand what I'm saying?
Shanga yene itrike ngaka ndoda.
You know what I mean? Abantu abaslem are busy buying Chinese cars. Abo Dr. Malenga cannot buy imoto yama China. Mela thengi BM. Because that's the stature that we want. We want the elevated product. Even though these new Beijings and everything else, they look good. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to look at the mentality of Utaki at the same time. We need to look at the mentality of customers just in general. They don't want a less than premium product. You know? And that's going to help us. If our wine is charging more then people are going to think intrinsically that our wine is of a higher quality. And then they're going to make money from selling South African wines, which means they're going to want to sell more South African wines. And the more South African wines they sell, the more jobs are being kept in the vineyards. You know what I mean? The more jobs are being kept in the Mofaya factory. You know, even the Mofaya can even transport and have a factory out there in the States and a canning and bottling plant, and that can service a market of 400 and something million people in North America alone. You know what I mean? Those are the potential. So we should not be looking at AGOA as something that is assisting us. It's assisting certain businesses. But when we look at our products, we need to have pride in South Africans and South African products. If Donald Trump wants to put 100% tariff on our product, it means our product is good. The same way he wants to put tariff on Chinese products, it's because Chinese products are good. And you don't hear China complaining, oh, don't tariff us. They're like, it's fine. We'll give you another product that's better than all your products. In Ntswembu, we'll give you another DeepSeek that's better than your OpenAI. And you're going to spend $500 billion on Stargate AI technology. But we're going to do something better than OpenAI for $5 million. You know, $500 billion is how much Stargate is pledging for Donald Trump. That's the second executive order that he signed with Larry Ellison. What's that? The guy from SoftBank, I forgot his name, but the Japanese businessman and Sam Altman. You know, DeepSeek is now part of Microsoft Azure. Microsoft owns 49% of OpenAI.
Is it true that Microsoft is also buying TikTok?
They made an offer, and they've been making. They made the offer from the first time Trump wanted to have it banned.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, TikTok is banned in America.
No, it's back.
No, it's banned.
No, they've extended. They've given them another,
it's
60 days?
No. If you've downloaded it and it's on your phone, you can still have it. It's banned in America. If you deleted it, it's over.
Downloads.
You can't download it. It's no longer on the App Store there. The number one app right now in America is DeepSeek. Another Chinese app. It's a new AI chatbot. It builds websites. Alibaba's dropped another AI that does better videos than OpenAI's Sora. You know what I mean? It's generative AI.
Starting a new business, I bought a domain for the new business venture that we're starting. Now I'm using GoDaddy to buy domains. Now there's a new thing that you can add there, AI. Clicked on it, edited on my basket, edited, bought that as well. It allows you to be able to, at a clip of a button in less than 1 minute, to build an entire website for you. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything in 1 minute. Like AI, bro. I'm like, is this what's going to be happening?
Imagine.
There's no design this website.
But you're paying for that. You are paying for that.
You're paying for it,
because you didn't use DeepSeek. DeepSeek is mahala. DeepSeek is mahala.
For now.
I mean, the Chinese have never disappointed us either way.
It's been trending the whole week, bro.
Can we download a manje?
Tasmuda.
You're behind. AI, AI. You understand? So Microsoft is using competitive, competitors to OpenAI while other people are sleeping. Microsoft has jumped on it very quickly.
Americans are clever. Now I'm going to App Store. Even if we type a straight DeepSeek, phezulu bakushange writing, bakushange ChatGPT.
They're doing every. I need to ChatGPT is got to deal with Apple for their Siri and their AI.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure you've updated your software. You must be on the new software. I mean, I haven't updated my software. I didn't want to open AI on my phone. So, if you look at what Trump is doing, guys, he's putting America first. We also need to put South Africa first in our hearts and in our minds and stop being scared, stop being bullied. Even if Trump says, hey, if you guys want to do this BRICS currency and whatever, let's take that knock. Germany was the 5th largest economy in the world, right? And the biggest economy in Europe. 2022, the war in Ukraine started. Sanctions were brought into Russia. They thought, oh no, we're going to crush the Russian economy. The Russian economy has overtaken the German economy. And guess what? VW is now asking China to build their cars for them. Cabang.
I've downloaded it. I've got it.
Mara nina nifuna ma-German car. Anifuni la wase-China. Anifuni GMC. Anifuni Beijing.
PEPFAR,
You understand? So
ARVs.
we're crying about so many things that we should be doing ourselves. The 17% that PEPFAR contributes to our ARV program is minuscule. We can cover that.
It's about 20 something, almost to 20%.
Yeah, but I mean, it's minuscule. There's a budget speech that's coming up. Please, Minister Korongwane, just make sure that you cover that shortfall. President Zuma wanted us to produce our own ARVs during that time. We built factories. We are able to produce our own drugs. Anthony Fauci and the NHI sued Fidel Castro and Nelson Mandela in 1998. They sued so that we could not make generic AIDS drugs. While they were busy trying to figure out how they're going to patent all these drugs, how they're going to milk money out of us, how we can produce drugs but still pay America for the drugs that we're producing because we're producing them on license. Even though they invented the HIV, because they're the ones who patented it. You understand?
You know Fauci was involved.
I know Fauci is involved. He was involved because of the polio vaccine. They created HIV in the process of finding the polio vaccine in the 50s. And they just didn't know what to do with it.
You must go research a lady by the name of Judy Malkovich.
So, PEPFAR.
And you must go check out a documentary called Plandemic.
So,
and also what it says about the creation of the AIDS virus. And one of the ladies who was put in jail, and they've had a couple of attempts on her life, Dr. Judy Malkovich.
So, PEPFAR is something that, we don't need in South Africa. We don't need it. In fact, PEPFAR, what it supports is us giving antiretroviral drugs to people from neighboring countries because they're able to access them here easier than they're able to access them in their own countries. In fact, there's a lot of people that come to South Africa just for their ARVs. They come in monthly just to stock up their ARVs in and out. So if we can control and make sure that our citizens are prioritized and make sure that no foreigner gets their drugs while a South African is unable to access their drugs, right, as a priority. I'm not saying that we should cut out our neighbors, right? Because we also need to be humane in the way we deal with this virus. This virus was injected into people. We've seen the videos about Dr. Vota Bason, who's now the head of Mediclinic in the Western Cape. You know what I mean? Because Lamapuno, ano kohlagala, do all these atrocities, and then they come back, and then they are doctors and everything else, and we forget. And then Uzuma.
And then we pay them every month.
And then Uzuma, yenamaga extend indlu yakhe. And then the contractors then take a lot of money and abuse the fact that they're working on the president's house to make a lot of money. That money is not going into his pocket. We can't forgive him after many, many years. Even after we've then said your pension money now needs to pay back these loans for these properties that you've benefited from. In fact, even his daughter now, we put her in jail. You know what I mean? And during that,
she got a warning, right?
A bail warning, as in a warning to come back to court and zero amount in terms of the bail.
Okay.
So Zuma basically accelerated the adoption of PEPFAR and the ARV program. We've got the biggest ARV program in the world, But I'm still disappointed in our former president, Thabo Mbeki. Thabo Mbeki should be stating right now, should be saying, all the lawyers that are studying at UNISA, we need to take a case to the ICJ to charge Dr. Fauci. The same way in Denmark, they're charging him over in Holland, sorry. The same way or it's either Holland or Denmark.
COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, with Peter Daszak. And remember I spoke to you about this back in 2023, April, on our few episodes, and I said, hey, Peter Daszak, guys, these guys are responsible for this COVID that's, plaguing us. They need to now employ those lawyers and, open up a case.
Dr. Rashid Buttar. We've got an interview with him. I don't know if he's still on the platform because at some point YouTube was threatening to delete it from me and give me a strike because we had a very long 1-hour interview with Dr. Rashid Buttar, who has then been assassinated after doing an interview on the CNN around that time of COVID-19. Just after we had done an interview on this platform. He woke me up around that time. That's why I was very skeptical in vaccinating.
Yeah. So, some of us had to vaccinate because we wanted to travel. Sveles a pup. And we're regretting it now. My father vaccinated, ended up getting, super cancer. but the Lord was watching over us, and he was able to fully recover. And he got some of the best doctors, some of the most experimental drugs that were used on my father to ensure that he could overcome cancer and then overcome the precautionary chemotherapy that he underwent. So, looking at PEPFAR right now, it's basically turned ARVs into like a lifetime subscription. It's a lifetime subscription service. That's what it is. So we should not be welcoming it. In fact, we should want to be unshackled by that. We should not be dependent on foreign aid to provide for our people. And as South Africans, we're not dependent on it. You know what I mean? We've got enough tax revenue to cover that. So the shortfall must be made up for. We're waiting on the finance minister, Enoch Godongwana, to say that, listen, he's spoken to our health minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, and they've made a workaround for that. So there's no reason to panic. And even some of the services that have been halted or paused that were being meted out by the US agencies, we should cover for them and cover for them really quickly. We need our premiers to start speaking and saying, hey, I, as the Premier of Limpopo, am attending to all these US-funded programs within my province, and I'm making sure that we're using whatever emergency funds and reserve funds to cover us for the next 3 months while the US sorts itself out. And then after that 3 months, we'll find a funding model so that we can stand on our own 2 feet and we won't need money. And if they need extra money, Treasury should be able to provide that extra money. And I think that's all it is. But if you look at the work rate of Trump, he's moving. As we're recording this episode right now, he's been in presidency. Well, as you're watching this episode right now, he's been in presidency for 14 days. You know what I mean? And look at how much work he's done. Our president in South Africa is just signed, the... what's this thing?
Expropriation bill.
No, that was last week.
Yeah,
this week he signed the agriculture bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which John Steenhuisen has welcomed. And I don't know with the expropriation bill, because that expropriation bill is not saying that they're going to take away anybody's farms or anything else. And in our constitution, it's codified that like the expropriation cannot affect food security. So I don't understand why Amapuna Kwatile and why they're on the timeline and telling Americans, oh, they're taking our farms, this is becoming like Zimbabwe. I mean, this propaganda that the DA likes spreading, and then they bring in a black woman who's going to come onto SABC and talk about nonsense that she doesn't even understand. You know what I mean? And make herself look bad because they need a black face to explain this thing so that they don't look racist. You know what I mean? And then they'll send their economic guy to Mike Sham's platform, and they talk about the DA's economic policies. The DA has no economic policy. The DA is not a party that should be in government because they don't actually have any ideas on how to lead South Africa. The DA is the invigilator that comes in. They're the substitute teacher. You understand? They're there to say, oh, this one was misbehaving, this one was misbehaving, this one was misbehaving. You know what I mean? They're the whole monitor. They're not people that are leading us in any direction currently as it stands, and so they are quiet when it comes to the threat of our ARV program. But when it comes to AGOA, hey, we're going to lose AGOA. Imagine if the DA said, we're going to lose PEPFAR. We're going to lose our ARV program. Because, you know what I mean? AGOA goes with the PEPFAR as well. They both come from the US. But they care about AGOA because it benefits them. That shows you what the DA cares about. Don't listen to what they say. Look, watch their actions. You know what I mean? They don't care that our people are dying from a virus that was man-made and manufactured to limit our population growth. They don't care about that. So they cannot be in a position of leadership because the things that matter to South Africans don't matter to the DA. You know what I mean? And that's not me casting a judgment on them. That is me just looking at things holistically and saying, is this the type of leadership that as South Africans we need or that we deserve or that we want? No, that's not the type of leadership that we want, that has no empathy, that has got no humanity. There's no evidence that has been produced by the courts during the prosecution of Zuma for the arms deal. That Patricia de Lille, she keeps going to the courts to say, yes, I'm the one who blew the whistle on this whole entire thing. She blew the whistle and she's still alive to tell the tale. Abo Babita Dekoran, when they blew the whistle on the Tembisa hospital? Assassinated.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So Zuma wasn't assassinating people that were blowing the whistle. But under the Ramaphosa presidency, people that blow the whistle get assassinated and we never hear anything about it. Do you know what I mean? There was an ANC Youth League politician that was assassinated during the Zuma presidency. And now we're hearing that, hey, there's certain ANC ministers or certain ANC MECs that promised the hitmen tenders. You know, they were talking about it right now. Those revelations are starting to come out.
Is it Butsindiso Makaka?
Yeah.
May so rest in peace.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you met him or you know him.
No, I've never met him.
Okay. But he's in your generation either way. You know what I mean? So in Tangayen, you know what I mean? So you guys are still young. Imagine getting into politics and then thinking that, damn it, this politics that I'm getting into in a democratic South Africa, I could lose my life just for fighting for my people. You know what I mean? Or representing my community. And so the double standards are too much. You know, he coined the phrase that South Africa's 13th or 12th official language is the language of double standards. I see you've got his book over there.
Yeah. Odyssey of Liberation, a memoir of a rebel advocate. Advocate Moses Kakan.
You know what I mean? I haven't read that book. I still need to get it, but I'm going to read through it, and I'm hoping that I can get through it within the space of a week.
It keeps on getting sold out, man. I struggle to get this copy.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So yeah, no, I'm gonna locate a copy. Hopefully at Morningside Exclusive Books, they've still got it at Morningside Shopping
There aren't
Centre.
any copies right now except for Woodlands in Cape Town, but you can find copies next week, or maybe this coming weekend. Yeah.
Ish. Damn it.
It's flying. It's flying.
But you know what I mean? The thing is that I spend like maybe 300 Rand just going from exclusive books to exclusive books to exclusive books. And sometimes, you know, you call the other exclusive books branches and they tell you, no, they've got 2 copies at such and such a place. No,
When
yeah,
you
Mall
get
of
there,
Africa.
it's gone. That's what happened with me with this book also.
Ish. Yeah, Tina.
He's
So,
been doing dope interviews.
you know, yeah, I've
The
been
last one with Caesar was amazing.
yes, and he's done other interviews as
He's
well.
done another one with Clement sometime last year. on
Yeah,
702.
so
That
I've
was
been
dope as well.
So I've been just observing our political parties and the things that they care about as well. And the fact that, you know, even the State Capture Commission, you know, we're not getting any further to finding out who has captured the state, which means that our state was already captured. So it should have been the Recapture Commission. People trying to recapture the state from its other captors or its original captors, you know, and the original captors are ensuring that the DA is able to fearmonger. The DA is able to spread lies about, you know, government policies that were agreed on in the 6th administration, which they have no business entering into because this GNU, so-called GNU of theirs, only started in the 7th administration. So the bills that were supposed to be signed in the 6th administration, when Cyril signs them, he's doing old work, you know, which again is an indictment on his leadership. That why does it take you so long just to put your signature on a piece of paper? So people will say, no, he has to read through it and go through it. There's DeepSeek, there's AI, there's advisors, there's a whole entire cabinet. Discuss these things. Have a Zoom call. You know what I mean? And let's get these bills done. Let us see some activity, some action, and then maybe the South African public will respect its leader a little bit more because they're seeing some decisive action. And then when Paul Kagame comes and delelas our president, at least we'll be able to defend our president with our chest. Instead of some of us saying, yeah, Kagame, please. Yeah, mchele. Whippy, 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 whippy. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys understand. I saw the comments on, but whippy, but I'm shining a whippy. Imagine President yethu bayishayenge whippy siyalaha thina ngaleso sikhathi. No, come on, South Africans, please. We can do better. You know what I mean? We need to have some national pride. Yes, we can tell our president that we're not happy about A, B, C, D, E, F, up to Z. But when other leaders are now disrespecting our presidency, that's who we voted for at the end of the day. It might have not been the majority of the voting public or the electorate, but over 40% of our voters that actually went out to vote voted for Ramaphosa to be in the presidency. The majority of parliament voted for him to be in presidency. And then we need to respect the fact that he's been appointed into that job, and he needs to respect the fact that we expect delivery quick. Double time, 2 times the speed. Like the people are watching this episode right now in 2 times the speed because they've got 30 minutes to watch this 1 hour that we're doing right now. and they need to move on to other things because life is tough. Life is tough. People need to remember to switch off their geysers. People need to remember that, hey, load shedding came back after 10 months of being away. And then all of a sudden, one weekend, we're being told that, no, load shedding is back. And then we're asking ourselves, but you guys know that you need some redundancy. You just brought back online that other Koeberg plant. You've refurbished it. You've added another 25 years of life into that Koeberg plant. We're expecting you to also announce that also that other unit at Medupi that was still under construction, the other one at Kusile that exploded, has been fixed now. We're not expecting to hear you saying, oh, no, we're reverting back to open cycle gas turbines or anything else. Or even if you have to revert back to open cycle gas turbines, you guys are not even using gas on those open cycle gas turbines. You're just making Astron rich, which is California Texas oil company, old under the old branding.
Chevron.
Yeah, it was Standard Oil and Texas Oil.
Yeah.
So that's now Astron in South Africa. So you're making all those companies richer. You're making them have more money because you're paying more tax. You're buying fuel at cost, at wholesale price.
Guys, please tag Astron. Somebody tag Astron. Astron, come, let's get Mofaya kicking in all of your garages, the whole country. Come, guys. Let's make it happen. We're proud of the work that you're doing. We see you doing some great work, but let's get this drink in all of your garages, the whole country.
You understand what I'm saying? So at least the people that are working at Astron don't have to be falling asleep. You know, sometimes you get there at like 3 a.m. You understand? So they need some Mofaya because at least Lena doesn't give you heart palpitations. I had 2 Mofayas the other day, by the way. You know, like 2 weeks back, I had 1 Red Bull. My gastritis went through the roof. My stomach was sore. I had to be drinking Buscopan tablets. You know what I mean? I couldn't sleep that night. So at least this treated me well. So some of you who've got sensitive stomachs, you know that this one is not acidic to the point that it's going to react with you. You know, so we need to start getting our act together. You know what I mean? Yes, Eskom has done a good job, but we're congratulating a fish for swimming. We're congratulating you for giving us 10 months of uninterrupted electricity that we pay for. It's not like that electricity is coming for free. So why are we congratulating them for not having load shedding for 10 months? This weekend, you know what I mean? The country should be up in flames right now for the fact that we don't have electricity over the weekend. Imagine, you know, people need to think, damn it, I bet 1,000 rand on Kaizer Chiefs winning. You know what I mean? And I know I'm going to lose that 1,000 rand, but at least I want to watch the game and see how beautiful, you know, Pirates are going to play. I'm sorry, but Pirates plays the best football in South Africa. I mean, we play an astonishing...
we're amazing.
I know.
We're amazing.
We're amazing. So whether it's a win or lose, at least the boys play well. You know what I mean? So it's an indictment on our leadership and the quality of leadership. If need be, let them bring in those ships from Turkey so that those ships can dock outside Richards Bay and then give us gas, electricity. Let the open cycle gas turbines work for gas, not diesel. You have to modify them, and then you are burning diesel, you know, which only enriches the diesel companies. Last weekend, I was picking up someone at the airport, right? And I was telling them, hey, that plane that you just got off, he flew in from Germany, from Frankfurt. He was on KLM. I was like, that plane that you just got off has to fly to Durban now to refuel. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, there's no jet fuel at OR Tambo. You know what I mean? AXA's running short of jet fuel. That's because companies like BP and Shell have pulled out. So now we've got other companies. We've got the oil refinery in KZN that is being refurbished. You know what I mean? The South African Oil Refinery Company is trying to get back and start producing. Let us produce. Let Gwede Mantashe come on TV and say, listen, we're not burning diesel this week for what's happening with Eskom. They've been provided with enough gas. And if they don't have enough gas and if we don't have electricity, because companies are working, we need air conditioning. It's really hot. It's 35 degrees on average some of these days. You know what I mean? We need our air conditioners working so that we can have productivity in the offices. It's really too hot. It's too hot to walk outside. There's delivery people that are going up and down. They've got hot helmets that they're wearing and they're sweating. You know, they're losing water. People are passing out on the job because of heat strokes. We need air conditioning in our buildings. We cannot be burning diesel because we know that we're going to pay for it in inflation. It's going to send the price up of everything else. It's going to send prices skyrocketing, and we're going to end up being like America. When I was in the States, I was buying a dozen eggs $6. $19 estates. And that's inflation. That's because they turned off the taps on some of their oil fields. You know what I mean? They're a net exporter of petroleum now. You know, they shouldn't be facing those problems, but because of the environmentalists curtailing their development, you know what I mean? They've had to pay the price elsewhere. In South Africa, we cannot afford to pay that price. We cannot afford to pay the price of bird flu.
A quick one just to close it off on a lighter note. Valentine's Day next week.
Yeah. Valentine's Day. Zonke has got a show. And unfortunately, tickets are sold out. So, unfortunately, the tickets are sold out. We tried. Valentine's Zonke's tickets are sold out. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, so Valentine's Day, it is what it is. No. I know. It's ngisaphola kancane. It's ngiphole kancane. Ngibe sharp, ngibe fresh, and then we'll get back to it. But you know, thank you for that wonderful venting session you gave me. You know what I mean?
Last week.
Yeah, you saved me 2,400.
Hey, you were carefully last
Yeah, that was 2 hours. Pela 1,200 rand per therapy session. You saved me a lot. Pela ngisena medical aid, so you know, sengipatala cash. So you saved me 2.4.
The authority is back, guys. Yes, it is back. And I know some of you, they're like, why there's always NOTA? Because everybody loves NOTA. Everybody hates NOTA. We love to hate NOTA.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the authority is back. What's up, boy?
Thank you. Thank you for igniting our minds, and thank you guys for supporting. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing the small little clips and YouTube shorts on TikTok, on X, on all the other platforms that you're sharing this content to. It's getting far and wide. We're getting messages, WhatsApps from all around the world of people who are being moved by the content that we're producing. And thank you to all the other content creators that are out there, podcasting and everything else, because you know I spend a lot of my time. I know you don't have as much time as I do to watch, but I spend a lot of my time watching and getting inspired.
The guys are doing well, man.
They are
amazing podcasts, and we've been saying that for the past couple of years.
Yeah,
guys, start your podcast, get on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's nice to see the blow up.
Yeah, they're blowing up.
Young people are doing.
They're blowing up, and they're doing more and more. And they're changing the narrative, and we're shifting the narrative. We're
challenging minds. We're shifting minds as well. It's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, that's it. And everybody can have their own little stockfile that they're building. And you know, it's not like we're in competition. People have got data. They can watch 100 videos a day. You know what I mean? Just because you've got a podcast doesn't mean you're taking away viewers from another person's podcast. In fact, you're adding more viewers onto the platform where the podcasts are shared, and more people are able to find more content, and there's more choice for them for something that resonates with them. Sometimes this episode will resonate with them. Sometimes that episode will resonate with them. Even with this platform, there's some episodes that resonate with more people than others, and the views show that. So we're giving you guys variety, and we're also hoping that this rising tide raises all boats. I don't know. Are we going to go to the opening of Parliament, Sona? Next week?
We have to go. We don't have a choice, bro.
Yeah,
we have
please,
to go.
Please.
Let's go out there and broadcast. And by the way, this space is still going to just keep on getting bigger.
Yeah.
When you saw our president with Elon Musk, there was a conversation that was had over there. And yes, before the end of this year, you will be hearing an announcement. Starlink is coming.
Yeah.
So this space is about to just blow up even more. So if you haven't started your YouTube platform, you haven't started your social media platforms, your podcast, you haven't started your e-commerce business, you have to get on it right now, because internet is about to get cheap in the country.
One more thing, sorry man, I forgot to say this. The DA minister is in charge of ICASA right now as the communications minister. Trump is taking 50% of TikTok. We're asking for 30% of Starlink. That's it.
Elon Musk gave us a middle finger.
It doesn't matter if he gives us a middle finger. This market, he needs it. This is the most vibrant market in Africa.
But let me tell you, there's a rumor, and I'm not sure, I don't know. There's a rumor, though, that when he had the conversation with our president, as much as giving us a middle finger, but there is a potential him giving that money back in terms of projects that he's going to initiate in the country.
It's fine. We don't mind building Teslas. I can get my overalls on now.
Not necessarily ownership or BE ownership, but that money given back or invested back into the country in the form of projects that empower
South Africans.
Well, look, man, I don't.
So I don't know.
I don't trust.
how true those talks are. But yeah.
Those trusts, those talks can be happening, but with Cyril's involvement with his business partners in MTN, you know what I mean? I don't see that happening without a partnership with MTN or the other mobile networks. I mean, Johan Rupert is a big shareholder in Vodacom as well, which started out as a state-owned company, by the way. You know what I mean? There's also Telkom that is involved. So T-Mobile is offering satellite connectivity for text messages right now in the United States, and they're working on the licensing to offer calls and video data packets through Starlink on your phone. So iPhones are set up to receive satellite signals, so you don't need any of those cell phone towers. The one company I know that didn't invest a lot in cell phone towers is Telkom. So they will be the ones who are most eager to take advantage of that opportunity, and the government has got a golden share in Telkom. So if they do a partnership with Starlink to provide Starlink, then maybe we can see some fruit in there. But I see another challenge coming in from DSTV, because DSTV in April, it's supposed to conclude the deal to be sold to Canal 24 in France. And I mean, once everyone has got Starlink, and Starlink is cheaper than a DSTV subscription, why would you need satellite television when you can stream everything? I mean, Showmax is showing you the Derby. You know what I mean? Even if Showmax is not showing you the Derby, there's SABC Plus that's showing you, content as well with your data packets. You don't need a lot of the channels because you're able to stream a lot of the channels. There's Hulu, there's all these things internationally, globally that are there. There's Netflix and all these things. So I'm hoping that people in the rural areas will be able to take advantage of Starlink connectivity by the end of this year. But even if that doesn't happen, let's keep producing the content, because that content is sitting in a library right now. And even if it's 5 years from now, it'll still be monetizable.
The Authority. I'll see you guys on the radio tomorrow, Radio 2000, 6 a.m. Danko.